Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do my spring book haul, which means I'm going to talk to you about all of the books I bought during the spring. The first book I want to talk to you about was probably the book I was most excited for to be released this entire year, and that is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third and final book in the first trilogy of the Court of Thorns and Roses series. And I have already started it. I am almost 200 pages in. I started this back in June, like the beginning, but I put it down because I had other things to read. And now I am planning on finishing this in the month of July, and I am so excited for it because I love The Court of Mist and Fury. I cannot wait to see how this entire trilogy wraps up. A Court of Thorns and Roses is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast that follows a girl called Silvera who accidentally kills a wolf who actually turns out to be a fae, and then she gets taken to the Spring Court, which is in fae territory, by Tamlin, who is a high fae, as punishment, and she has to live out all of her days at the Spring Court and has to get used to fae life. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the first book, but the second book honestly stole my heart, and I cannot wait to finish up this one. Second book I want to talk about is one I can't help but smile at when I look at it, and that is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is such a thin book in comparison to A Court of Wings and Ruin. Like, it's really light. But it's a very pretty book. This was released at the end of May, and it has red pages. It's a very beautiful edition. This is about 5 teens who get sent to detention, and then one of them dies during detention. And this is basically a murder mystery and figuring out who killed the 5th student. But why I love this book so much, I haven't read it yet, is because this was actually a gift from my boyfriend for our 1-month anniversary, and I was so impressed with this because it is in English. I am Dutch, and how well he listened to me and actually picked out a book I was interested in reading. Like, I am super impressed, and I'm definitely going to be reading this in July. Then, an even thinner book is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I haven't read an Adam Silvera book before, but this one really piqued my interest because it sounds like something I would really enjoy. This follows a character whose ex-boyfriend has died due to a drowning accident, and then he meets his ex-boyfriend's new boyfriend, and they start to connect and I guess share their grief over the one person they had in common. And the main character also suffers from OCD, which is an own voices aspect of this because Adam Silvera also has OCD, and I am super excited because stories about grief are always things I enjoy, and this sounds a lot like Skies Everywhere by Jenny Nelson, which I absolutely loved, so I'm very excited to read this one soon as well. And this is also a super pretty edition. Then the book I've already read during June, and that is A Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I have read a couple of books by Morgan Matson, but this is one I was particularly interested in because it is supposed to be a sad story. It's also a super floppy paperback, which I love, and I think it's very pretty with the glittering letters. And this book follows a girl who goes to spend the summer at her old lake house with her family because her father is dying of cancer. And she has to reconnect with her old ex-boyfriend and her old best friend. She hasn't been to back to the lake house in years, and she basically connects with her family all over again. And we see obviously a lot of scenes with her dad while he is dying. And I thought this was a very sad book. The ending did make me cry a little bit. And I really like this one. I gave it 4 stars, and I think this is probably my favorite Morgan Matson book up until now. Another book I've already read is End of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is the first book in the End of Green Gables series, and this is a classic, which I read for the Ostentatious Book Club. And I absolutely love this. I never expected to love this because it is a middle grade story about a little girl who goes to live at this farm with an older brother and sister. They are both in their 50s, I think. They never married, and they just live together at this farm, and then they adopt Anne accidentally. They actually wanted a boy who could help them out at the farm, but then they get Anne and they grow fond of her. And this book is basically, every chapter is an adventure that Anne has, and I thought this was so cute. I love how much imagination Anne has and how how she was such a different main character. She absolutely captured my heart, and I won't pick up the next book soon, but if it ever stumble upon it, I will definitely read it. But I thought this was such an adorable read and I would really recommend it. Then the last book in this haul I have read is The Walled City by Graudin. I've read the Wolf by Wolf duology by Graudin and fell in love with it. So I bought The Walled City because I wanted to read more by her. And The Walled City follows 3 characters. One of them is a drug trafficker, another one is a girl who's stuck in a brothel in the Walled City, and the other one is a girl who disguises herself as a boy to look for her sister, who is the girl that is stuck inside the brothel. And obviously all of the stories intertwine, but I wasn't a huge fan of this. I thought it was average, was okay. I didn't really enjoy it particularly. I didn't care for the characters. But I will definitely pick up other things by Graudin because her Wolf by Wolf duology was so good, and this book was released before that duology, so she has definitely improved upon her writing and storytelling. And the last book in this haul I want to talk about, which I haven't read yet, is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and I absolutely adore this edition. It also has little illustrations above the chapters, like so. It is gorgeous, and I got this book for the Ostentatious Book Club. I'm going to be reading this in July also, and I also thought this book was going to be way thicker because online I thought this book was supposed to have like 500 pages or something, and I was like shocked because this is a classic and I don't think I'm going to get through a 500-page classic that fast. But this is not 500 pages, guys. I don't know what it is, but I was so happy when this came in the mail and it was so little and so beautiful. But what this is about is about the 4 March sisters, and basically I think the adventures they experience, the synopsis feels a lot like Anne of Green Gables, so I am very positive I will like this just as much. But what the back of the book says about the girls: Meg is sensible and outgoing, Jo is literary and boyish, Beth is musical and shy, and Amy is artistic and selfish. So I'm going to be reading about these 4 sisters who are all completely different from each other, and I think I will love it. So these were all of the books I bought during the spring. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what did you think about them, and what books did you buy during the spring? I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!